right, as the community update continues, starting this Friday, the 5th of August, the latest ACT production going on down here at the Tomah Senior High, where we are right now. It's called Bye Bye Birdie, the musical. And we're going to sit down and talk with some of the cast members as the update continues. And you are?
Lisa Jankowski, and I'm playing Ursula Merkel.
Tell me about your role in Bye Bye Birdie, if you don't mind.
Ursula Merkel, she's a pretty interesting role. I've had a lot of fun playing her. It's been good to bring me out of my shell a little bit. She has some interesting lines. She's really fun to play. She screams a lot, so it's been a bit hard on my voice, but drinking lots of water and keeping myself hydrated, so it's not too bad. But I enjoy playing her. She was definitely my number one that I wanted.
I was just going to ask you, when you tried out for Bye Bye Birdie, that's kind of the role you had in mind?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're on stage, having not seen it lately, you're on stage a lot?
I'm spread out a lot, quite a bit. I have quite a few lines, too, I would say.
Okay, now we talked a little bit off the air. You're an 8th grader. So you have a background, 8th grade right now, correct? Or were you 8th grade?
I'm going into 8th grade,
Okay,
yeah.
so an 8th grader this year, but you've got a background, you've been in some middle school stuff. So you've been on this stage in the high school before, haven't you?
Yep.
So I would have guessed you're not too intimidated, huh?
Not really. I guess there's always like those being on stage jitters, just, once you're getting used to it and stuff. But it's been fun, and I guess I'm just keeping the worry out of my mind and focusing on the good stuff.
Yeah, well, I've been on stage, and it's really bright up there. Do you really even see the audience when you're on stage?
No, not at all. It's blinding. If you want to see anybody, you have to cover your eyes, and that's it. Even then you can barely see them. Okay,
by being a part of Bye Bye Birdie, you've been kind of asked to give up your summer because you've been practicing for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, quite a bit, but it's all worth it. I enjoy theater a lot, so.
Talk about your parents. Who are your parents?
I know. So my mom was never really and my stepdad, he hates theater, and my mom's never a big fan yet. She raised 2 theater kids, and my brother's actually helping with tech for the show. He's doing mics, but they've always been pretty supportive of what I wanted to do. They prefer this over sports. It's less expensive.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
So do you do sports at all or not?
No.
Oh, you don't do sports. Okay, without giving Bye Bye Birdie away, when it begins this coming Friday, August 5th, is there a favorite part of the show you look forward to?
I love the entire show, but I guess I don't know if I could choose. I like it all.
Singing? You do a lot of singing in the show?
Ursula's not much of a singer, but there's a lot of, she doesn't have any solos or anything, which I'm okay with. I prefer more of the acting in the show, but has quite a bit of lines, which I prefer.
Did you know anything about Bye Bye Birdie? Have you watched the video? Have you watched the movie? Did you go into this knowing kind of something?
I got to watch a bit of it so for choir, Miss Quartermont, our choir teacher, she showed us, everyone in choir, a lot of the movie. We didn't get to watch the full thing of it, but I got a pretty good idea of it.
So what was it about this character? You said earlier this is what you want to be from the get-go. When you watched the video, what was it about her that said, hey, I want to be her? So
she's a really fun character. She's loud and energetic.
Okay.
And she's just someone that is not forgettable. You're able to tell who she is in the entire show.
All right, so we're sitting down. I'll let you go in a moment here. I promise we're sitting down a little more than a week before your first show. You guys at this point ready to go?
There's been some rough patches. We had trouble with Sits Pro, but it wasn't going so well. But we got all over it, so now we're just finishing up some set, and I think it's turning out pretty well. But there's definitely been some points where it was really hard.
Hey, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, as the update continues, we're down here at the Tomah Senior High School, the latest ACT production, Bye Bye Birdie, starting this Friday, August 5th. First of 3 shows. We're talking right now with, just graduated this year, Tomah former senior, Matt Hennessy. Matt, you're playing kind of a big role, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
But this is something you've been show choir, you've been in a lot of musicals, this is kind of your thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always fun to be in musicals. I hope to keep going into musicals as I go further through life, not just dropping it here,
When you decided to try out for Bye Bye Birdie, is this the role you hope to get?
Yeah, it was.
And you're on stage a lot.
Fair bit, yeah.
Yeah. like I asked the other young lady who we talked with a moment ago, have you watched the video? Have you watched the movie? Did you kind of know anything about how Bye Bye Birdie went?
So I knew a little bit about Bye Bye Birdie because there was a rumor a couple of years back that that's what we were gonna do for like a high school production.
Okay.
But that fell through. So all I really knew about Bye Bye Birdie was that like Conrad Birdie was like an Elvis-y kind of guy and something about him going to the army. Otherwise, I hadn't seen the movie or anything like that.
And the women kind of like you, don't they?
That's one way to put it.
Is there a favorite part of, but we don't get to, I mean, we certainly don't want to give the program, the show away, but is there a favorite part of Bye Bye Birdie, Matt, you look forward to when you start on Friday?
I'll say my personal favorite is the very final scene. I get to wear a rather interesting costume, and I enjoy that a lot.
Okay. You're a senior right now, you just graduated. What's our plans right now?
Go off to college in the fall. Hopefully, I'm planning on majoring in political science at UW-Eau Claire. Try and keep up with musicals and all that stuff. I know they're putting on an opera this year, so that'll be fun.
A little more than a week before your first show. Where are you at right now? Could you start tonight? Are you that close, or do you have some work to do yet?
I'll say that we need just a little bit more work to get put into this show. Like nothing worrying, just like final touch-ups here and there for sure.
And when you decided to do Bye Bye Birdie, as we talked about with the young lady prior to yourself, you've kind of have to given up your whole summer because you guys have been practicing a long time, haven't you?
Yep, since beginning of July or so.
Okay. All right, first show starting on Friday, August 5th. For the people looking in right now, sell them on why they should come here.
You get to see my pretty face.
Okay, there you go.
It's a fun show. It's a comedy. Lots of laughs to be had. And it's always great to see the community come together to put something.
It's a cast of about 30, right?
I can't tell you the exact number now.
Well, I just interviewed an 8th grader. You just graduated from Tomah High School, so it's a mix of adults, high school graduates, 8th graders. That's got to be. Is that a good thing?
I think it certainly presents its challenges,
Yeah.
right? Because adults are so independent and like sometimes they don't like being told what to do. And 8th graders and all that, they're a very chaotic bunch to work with. High schoolers, I guess, somewhere in between, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's a good thing to really just come together as a community and put on a show for fun. I met a lot of friends that like otherwise wouldn't have met through this production.
Absolutely. It's your first time with ACT, right?
No, I've done a couple shows.
Oh, have
with
you?
ACT.
I didn't realize you'd done with ACT. Okay. All right, Matt Hennessy, he plays the main role, Conway Birdie, in the latest ACT production starting on Friday, August 5th, the first of 3 shows. Matt, I know you're very busy, need to get back to practice, but thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, as the update continues, we're down at the senior high on August 5th, this coming Friday, the latest ACT production, Bye Bye Birdie, going on at the senior high. Talking with another one of the cast members, and you play Rosie.
I am playing Rosie, the faithful secretary to Albert.
And you're on stage a lot, aren't you?
I am. A lot of singing, which is great. That's what I enjoy doing, and I guess a little acting going in there too.
Before we move on, you are.
I am Amy Klespies.
And have you been in any ACT stuff before?
Yeah, I was in the most recent production, Marrying Walt.
Oh, that's right, of course.
Yeah.
A senior moment, apologize for
That's
that.
all right.
All right, when you try out for Bye Bye Birdie, is this the role you'd hope to get?
This was the role I was hoping to get, yes.
Why was that?
I think it's because it felt more in character for me, and just a lot of singing, which I said I enjoy doing.
For people that have seen Bye Bye Birdie, as far as your relationship with Albert,
Yeah.
it's kind of up and down, isn't it?
Very much so. I get to do a lot of songs complaining about him and loving him, and yes.
This is a cast of 30, made up of middle school kids, adults, high school graduates like Matt a moment ago.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
It's a lot of fun. My own 2 kids are in the show.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so they are in high school, and that's been a lot of fun. This is the first show we've done together, so that's been great.
And you've actually had to kind of give up your summer, haven't you? Because you guys have been practicing a long time, haven't you?
Yes, we have. It has taken a lot to put together, and a lot of time with memorizing and enjoying just each other's company, so yes.
So I'm guessing you're going to be on stage at times with your sons, is that right?
I will be on stage with my kiddos. Yep, my
Wow.
daughter and son.
Okay.
My daughter plays the part of Alice, and my son the
Okay.
part of Harvey Johnson, and
Okay.
we get to sing a little bit together. Yeah.
Favorite part of Bye Bye Birdie you look forward to?
Oh goodness, I think my favorite part of Bye Bye Birdie is. It's a really great question. Probably just the bookends of the show. How we begin the show and how we end the show. The singing and dancing that goes on with that, and just being really in character.
Take me back to high school. Did you do any acting at all in high school?
Yeah, I did. I was in a lot of musicals in high school. We did Little Shop of Horrors, South Pacific. I graduated doing Into the Woods, and I played the part of Cinderella there. And then as an adult, I was able to play the part of the baker's wife, which was really fun to do that show again.
So you're being on stage is no big deal for you, is it?
Well, I guess not. It's a lot of fun for
Yeah.
me, and it had been a while between the previous show and Marrying Walt, but of course Marrying Walt was just the other day, it seems like, and so now we're here.
Let's go one more direction we haven't gone as we wrap it up with you. Talk about your directors for me.
Yes, well, something about me, I am a musician, I am a music teacher, as a profession, and so the music side of things has been really fun working with Barb, and making cuts here, or helping work with the cast, and she's been great. And Amanda has just been a really great leader. Working with kids is difficult, and
Yeah.
she has the right personality, she just knows what to do with this age group, and she's been wonderful.
So I'm guessing at times if you see something you'd like, you might jump in and suggest something and say, hey, maybe we should try this. Or is that a fair assumption?
As far as the music is concerned,
Okay.
yes, that is something that I was able to contribute to the team. On stage directing, I leave that up to Amanda.
One thing we need to mention, I promise I'll wrap it up after this. I talked with Amanda prior to sitting down talking with some of the cast members. Scenery hasn't got here yet. Is that difficult without scenery, or am I way off base there?
Oh no, I would agree with you full-heartedly. We're really looking forward to getting the set on stage and getting our props. It'll be our first time working with that really tomorrow. We're just wrapping up some bits and pieces today, and tomorrow we'll get right in there and give a good show next week.
Coming up a week from this Friday, hey, thank you for making time. I appreciate it, and I know it'll be a great show. Thank you for making time.
Appreciate it, thanks.
All right, another cast member for Bye Bye Birdie, the latest ACT production starting on Friday, August 5th, first of 3 shows. We're talking with who right now?
My name is Jason Schmok.
And you have a pretty big role in this one, don't you?
Yeah, it's one of the, I guess, bigger top six roles, I guess you'd say. His name is Harry McAfee, and his daughter is Kim McAfee, who wins the contest to get kissed by Conrad Birdie. And he obviously has a hard time with that because Conrad is a rock and roller, and it's 1958, and my character's likes structure and likes to be in control.
Yeah, she kind of has a thing for, your daughter has a thing for Conrad, doesn't she?
Yep, even though she has a steady boyfriend.
For people that have not seen Bye Bye Birdie, without going into a lot of detail, particularly in your case, the Ed Sullivan Show comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, Harry, my character, I'm Harry. Harry really idolizes Ed Sullivan. He loves the Ed Sullivan Show. So originally, only Kim is going to appear on the Ed Sullivan Show. But in order to appease me, who was about ready to not allow his daughter to appear on the show, they arranged for the whole family to be on the show.
When you tried out way back for Bye Bye Birdie, is this the role you had in mind?
No, I actually thought I would be like a combination of 1 or 2, maybe 3 smaller roles.
Okay.
It's just they needed a certain age group, and
Okay.
I fit into that age group with the audition. And it also helped that I knew the lady they had picked to play my wife.
Okay.
So I was comfortable with her already. We've been friends a long time.
And you've been on stage before. This is no rodeo, first rodeo for you, right?
Right. I've only been smaller parts though.
Okay.
But I've been some bigger parts for church productions. But this is my first musical where I actually sang. Actually, it's my first musical where I actually speak English.
Really?
Because the only other musical I was in was Wizard of Oz, and I was the head monkey. So
Oh,
I
boy,
only
yeah.
spoken gibberish and
Uh-huh.
chirps and things like that.
The
But
head
I
monkey.
helped with a few.
Okay. And your mom is helping direct.
Oh, not my mom, my wife.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure I should ask you that ahead of time.
Last
Oh,
name and everything.
That makes it interesting, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know a little bit of information more than other people, I
Uh-huh.
suppose, and I put in a lot more behind the scenes work than most of the cast members.
Favorite part of Bye Bye Birdie you look forward to when it opens this coming Friday, August 5th?
Oh man, the whole musical is funny.
Yeah.
Every scene has at least one really good joke. But I would say the part I'm looking forward to the most for my character is performing the Ed Sullivan hymn.
Sure.
It's called Hymn for a Sunday Evening.
Mm-hmm.
Because we put, all the people that sing it have put so much work into that, being nice.
And it's really a cast of, you have middle school kids in this, you have
Yeah.
adults, you have high school
Yeah,
graduates.
even some grade schoolers.
Yeah.
And all the way up to people in their 70s.
Is that a good thing?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic because most time kids and adults can never really truly be equals.
Yeah.
But in this production, they have to be because they're all valued and they're all important and they have to work as a team. So it is very special.
First of 3 shows starting on August 5th. I'm guessing you have your game face on right now?
Yeah, I run the gambit of emotions in this.
Okay.
But I try to, most of the time when you think of my character, he's always angry, always flying off. But I try to be a little bit more thoughtful. I like to think that he thinks he can figure the situation out.
Mm-hmm.
That's my spin on it.
Hey, thank you for sitting down with me. I know you need to get back to practice. Thank you
Yep.
for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming to film us. Thank you.
Bet.
We're good.
All right, this is the final cast member we're going to talk with before we talk with the directors of the latest ACT production, Bye Bye Birdie, going on starting on Friday, August 5 at the Tomah Senior High, first of 3 shows. And you are?
Hi, I'm Riley Miller. I play Kim McAfee in Bye Bye Birdie.
And we just talked to the guy who's going to be your dad in the production.
Jason, I don't know his last name, but
Okay.
yeah, he's Mr. McAfee.
And you kind of, for people not familiar with Bye Bye Birdie, you kind of, well, you've got a boyfriend, but you got a thing for Conrad, don't you?
Well, yeah, he's a famous actor. You know, it's like the famous Ryan Reynolds thing. It's where everyone likes Ryan Reynolds, but like they still have relationships. So everyone likes Conrad, but they're still in relationships.
Now, you've been on stage before, though, correct?
Yes, yeah, I've been in like three other
Okay.
performances.
But one of the things we talked about off the air is that this is kind of a total different angle because this is kind of the biggest role you've ever had. And are you a little nervous about that?
I am very much nervous.
Why is that?
Well, I'm very much afraid that I might forget something on stage or I might sing the wrong note. And though I know the audience won't know, but I know I'll know and everyone else will know, especially like the musicians, and it just makes me nervous.
Go back to day one when they held auditions quite a while ago. Is this the role you said, hey, I want?
Yes, I put I put Ursula, I put Deborah Sue, and then I put Kim.
Okay.
And so I was really excited when they got made for callbacks for Kim, and because that was like the first time I was called back for a big role, so I was really excited. Yeah.
And it's a cast of, there's a lot of variety. We have kids in this, we have adults in this, we have recent high school graduates in it. That's kind of a good mix, isn't it?
Yes, of course. It's always good to have a range of different ages, just so, because everyone has different levels of experience. It's really fun to get to know like the little ones, and then be able to laugh and joke about things with the older people. It's really fun.
And you've kind of been asked, like all the other cast members, to kind of give up your summer. You've been practicing for a long time, haven't you?
Yes, I have, and along with this, I do work. I had 2 weeks of show choir. It was really busy, but being at practice and being with everyone here, it just relaxes me, and it's fun to be here. I really like it.
We're going to sit down and talk with your directors next. Talk about your directors for me.
Amanda is doing a really good job. I love her. She tries to keep everyone on track. She tries to make everything tries to make sure everything is going on track and keeps going. I don't know if Harmony counts, but Harmony was our dance director. She choreographed everything in this show, and she did an amazing job. Barb was our music director. She worked with us with singing. She helped us make sure we got the right notes. We were doing correct rhythms. She's really helpful as well.
So what grade in school are you right now?
I'm going into 12th grade at Tomah High School. I'll be a senior, yeah. I am going to be 17 at the end of this week.
Wow, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's being a show choir, you put on a lot of time, don't you?
Yeah, it's a grueling 2 weeks, but we love it, and we always celebrate at the end, which makes us closer, and it's very much a bonding experience over the summer.
Do you have a favorite part of the show?
My favorite part actually isn't my part, it's Rosie when she sings Spanish Rose. It is my favorite song.
Okay, less than a week before your first shows, you and I are sitting down. If the show were to start tomorrow night, are you ready or not?
I would say I would be ready.
Okay.
I would definitely be worried for other people with we haven't. I would love more practice, but I would say I would be able to perform pretty well.
One of the things we talked about with another cast member a little bit earlier is until right now, tomorrow I believe you're going to get your scenery. So I would imagine once the scenery is in place, that changes things, doesn't it?
It does. It makes things a lot easier. It helps you get into character more.
Yeah.
You're in that area, like you're in the McAfee household or you're at the station. It just helps a lot with being able to perform.
So you're not in a costume now, but nobody is. You have kind of a unique costume we should look for or not?
I have, so for, we call it Ed Sullivan. I'm wearing a blue dress that matches with Conrad, and it's one of my fancier dresses, but it's one of my favorites.
Have you watched Bye Bye Birdie?
No, but I have listened to some of the soundtrack.
Okay. Because I was going to ask if you had watched it and say, hey, picked up some of her traits, I want to pick this up, but so you're kind of going this a little bit cold, although you do know something about it.
Yes.
Okay. I know you got to get back to practice. You're a very busy young lady, it sounds like. Happy birthday again in advance. Thank you for your time and appreciate talking with me.
Thank you.
All right. Talking with the two directors, for the people that are not familiar with who we're talking about, let's start over here with Amanda. Amanda, this isn't your first rodeo. You've done this before.
I've never fully directed before. I've co-directed and music directed a few shows at ACT before.
Who makes the call to say we're going to do Bye Bye Birdie? Who makes that call?
I actually brought it to ACT and said I would really like to do this, and we had a special reading, and everybody who was at the reading loved it. They thought it was a great show. They thought it was really funny, and they liked the music. And so they kind of made the call and said, all right, this is something we're going to put on. So.
And you have kids, you have adults,
Yes.
you have high school graduates, kids still in school.
Yes.
Was it hard putting the cast together?
No, we had auditions, and there was one day where we had more of the kids, junior hires, and then there was one day that we had more of the senior hires and adults, and we just picked from that and went from there. So.
And to this point, as we're sitting down, you've been working without scenery. That can't be a good thing, is it?
It's been difficult,
Yeah,
but we like to work in tandem with show choir, and we
Okay.
know that they had their camps, and so we worked it out with Kate that we could use the stage, but we couldn't bring in anything until this last Saturday. So this is the first week that we've actually had all of our set together.
And your husband is also in this.
Yes, he is.
Is that a good thing?
Oh yes, he's hilarious.
Okay.
I love him.
Okay, well, I'm glad. Before we move on and talk to Barb, we need to recognize the Tomah Senior High for thanking them for letting you use the auditorium, obviously.
Oh yes, definitely. I've worked a lot with Colleen, back and forth, different appointments I've had to have with other people and stuff, and I appreciate everything that she has done, and everything that Scott has done, and the janitors have done, and it's just awesome that they let us utilize this facility, because then we can put on bigger productions than just our small ACT stage. So.
And the one thing I've talked with most of the cast members that I've talked to prior to you and I sitting down is you really got to kind of take your hats off to them, because to be in this production, they've kind of been asked to give up most of their summer, haven't they?
Yes, they have. And we tried to make it where the schedule wouldn't have them coming every single day, or they would come for maybe an hour and they'd get to leave because we'd have somebody else come in. So I tried to do that. That was a lot of hard work, but I think it really, really worked really well for the kids and for the adults.
All right, Barb, what do you do? You're co-directors with Amanda, so what do you kind of key on? What does she key on? How does it all come together as co-directors?
Well, my job for this production has been music director. And so I have been working with people on their songs.
Okay.
And so while Amanda was blocking a scene in one room, I was in another room working on them, learning their music. We have had people do a wonderful job of 1 or 2 nights with me and then learning it all and practicing it at home. They have just been stellar at that. So then, this week when we got here and we could finally get in, I found out, oh, you're directing the orchestra.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Well, we
Oh.
didn't know it
Oh.
until about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And so it's a learning curve for me. I haven't directed a band for 40 years.
Really?
So, I have choir things, but it's a new learning curve for me, but the band members, the pit band, Stephanie Brookman got us a great group of people. They are just awesome musicians.
Yeah, the pit band, they kind of get overlooked, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They are just amazing.
Okay, so when ACT announced this quite a while ago, our summer production is going to be Bye Bye Birdie. Did you say I want to be a part of that right away?
I was actually asked by Amanda to come and work with her
Okay.
while we were working on Always Patsy Cline.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah. And so I thought, oh, she's fun to work with. So.
Yay!
How are tickets going?
They actually are going quite well. We've had them on sale for a month. Well, actually, we opened the sales up on July 1st. And there have been quite a few online sales. The one thing with the summer production is almost all of your sales are at the door. Because people say, oh, I don't know if I can go Friday or if I can go Saturday. And so we have a good number now, but and they're still available, but there will be lots of sales at the door.
That's the key thing, keep in mind, people can get their tickets right at the door.
Right at the door, because
Okay.
we're in such a big auditorium.
Absolutely, yeah.
We don't have to say, oh, you have to choose a seat right now. The one thing about this is it's general admission. So you get here, when the doors open at 6:30, you can go in and choose your seat right then.
And for people that have not been to senior high for a while, it's totally redone. It's got a nice look to it, doesn't it?
It's beautiful. They did a marvelous job revamping the floors, the
Yes,
seats,
yes.
the sound system, everything. So we appreciate being able to use the facility. Yes.
All right, Amanda, we only had a chance to talk to a small group of cast members for Bye Bye Birdie, so keeping that in mind, how would you sum up your cast for Bye Bye Birdie as you get ready to go on stage a little more than a week from right now? How would you sum them up?
They are very energetic. They are very hardworking. They have done an amazing job learning lines, learning music, learning dancing. They've been a great cast to work with. I've really enjoyed this summer and working with them, getting to know some of the people that have never been on this stage before.
Yeah.
And then we have some that have, and they were in smaller roles before and something I helped with. And now they're in a bigger role, and so I've really gotten to know them too. So it's been a lot of fun.
So if you had to break it down, what percentage are people that probably have never been on stage before? Pretty small?
Oh, goodness. I think I counted the other day about 11.
Okay,
So a lot of our younger
yeah.
crowd, our younger casts are people that have never been on an ACT stage before.
It's a cast of around 30, correct?
35.
35,
Yes.
wow. Okay, next thing we're going to see, kind of a teaser. And you know more about it than I do, so before we let Barb and Amanda go, Amanda, since you know a heck of a lot more than about this than I do, kind of set up what we're going to see as we wrap it up here at the senior high.
I'm not quite sure what you mean, what we're going to see.
What's the scene we're going to see next?
So
Yeah.
the girls, throughout the entire show, several different groups of girls, and everybody at one point sing "We Love You, Conrad."
Right.
And that is the song that every single person knows in the cast because so many of the kids sing it.
Sure.
So Barb is going to get a group of the girls together and they're going to sing "We Love You, Conrad," so you guys can get it in your head before you even come, because I guarantee you it will be in your head when you leave.
Yes, I totally agree with you there. Barb and Amanda, the co-directors for Bye Bye Birdie, the first of 3 shows starting on Friday, August 5th. So we'll look forward to what we're going to see. Bye Bye Birdie, the main song, one of the main songs from Bye Bye Birdie in a moment. Ladies, thank you for making time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Greg.
Yes, thank you.
We love you, Conrad. Oh, yes, we do. We love you, Conrad, and we'll be true. When you're not near us, we're blue. Oh, Conrad, we love you.
All right, the community update continues. We want to talk about something coming up the first Saturday in August, August 6, 2022. It's called Mishienza. Sean Zavinsky on your right kind of put this together 2 years ago. Deb Chesser on your left will be helping her out. We'll talk with Deb in a moment. But Sean, year 2 for this. Actually, you tried to get it going last year. The weather didn't cooperate, but you've got that taken care of this year, don't you?
Yes, I do, Greg. And thank you, Greg, for doing this interview. Mishienza Days this year is going to be held out at the Tomah Fairgrounds. It's all going to be indoors this year. And we are very fortunate as a group to have those facilities available to us. I think it's going to be a start to something new. Right now we have about 46 vendors, and I'm hoping that it will continue to grow. Even though I had a cutoff date July 25th, but I'm still encouraging people to at least reach out. If they reach out, they're going to be accepted. I am not turning anybody away.
You kind of talked about you'd like to kind of make this into a somewhat of like a Cran Fest, correct?
Correct. And I should back up for a minute, Greg. So, Mishienza Days is a term for art and cultural fair, and it's a French term. The person who came up with the name, Suhom, which had recently passed away, and my condolences are with her family at this time.
Yes, absolutely.
Because she was a part of the Historical Preservation Committee, and we had made it a point to get this project up and running. And when Sue had left the council, we attempted to have this last year. We had a lot of vendors signed up. We got rained out.
Yep.
This year, we have it at the fairgrounds, and I think people are going to be quite pleased because everything will be indoors. And we have a variety of vendors, and I'm going to let Deb touch on that. And I'm just pleased. My dream of this event is to be a mini Crane Fest down the road. I think that maybe I set too many expectations on myself this year, but that's the direction I would like to see it go. I would eventually like to add a kid-friendly zone that had been brought up to my attention this morning, and also to include or to at least tap into the flea market world. Just having a hard time getting contacts, and maybe eventually having live music.
All right, we want to talk with Deb, Chester, and Moan. Before we do, you may have already touched on this, but Deb and I were talking off the air before you got here. Mishienza, simplify it. What does it mean?
It's a French term for art and cultural fair.
And how do you come up, why do you decide to call it this?
Well, and this was created by Sue Holm,
Okay,
and she thought
all right.
it was a unique name. Nobody around in the area has ever heard of it, and so it was a unique name that we've adopted to set ourselves apart.
So if we pick 20 people off the street right now at random and ask them to come in and try to pronounce it correctly, you think they get it right?
No.
Right, because I wouldn't have got it right either. All right, let's talk with Deb Chester. Deb, you're kind of helping out with Sean as far as the Mishienza coming up on August 6th. We talked a little bit off the air. What's been your main role so far, Deb?
Well, mostly administrative, helping her with
Okay.
getting emails out, getting letters out, fielding a few things here and there, calming her down when she's getting all upset.
You said you've been getting emails asking questions. What type of questions have people been asking you?
Oh, well, first of all, you know, the most ones we've gotten is from people that lately have been, who have signed up, wanted to verify if they had electricity.
Oh, sure,
Or if they
sure.
were going to have proper wall space so that they could use it. And just basically a few of them that let us know that they couldn't make it this year, but they were looking forward to next year.
We should mention that you and Sean are also members of the
Tomah
Preservation Committee, aren't you? Yeah.
Yes. I've only been a member for a year and a half,
Okay.
and I had taken over for one person who had left, and then I was brought back in this year as a full member, so.
Yeah, it sounds like they're keeping you busy down there. Yeah.
Well, my family's always been known to
And
take
you
care of
also-
Tomah.
And if people say, where have I seen her? You're at the museum too, right?
Yes, I work there at the museum. I am a volunteer there that I basically work with Jim, taking care of, we're just installing a new computer system, which we're going to have two public computers available for people to use to do genealogy.
A kid's called Mishienza. It's going to be at Recreation Park Saturday, August 6th.
That's correct.
Let's talk about, Deb, if you don't mind, talk about some of the people say, well, what type of vendors will be there? What type of vendors can we look for?
All kinds. I have several that I know, mostly people who crochet, knit. A friend of mine, her and her husband do rose mulling, and she was really happy about doing that. All sorts of crafts. I believe we're also going to have somebody there from Tupperware. Tupperware. And we have a gentleman here who does leather work. And, you know, it's just going to be a very good start to what we're trying to start.
What about food? Will there be food there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, entertainment?
I'm working on that currently, Greg. I had a person by the name of Link Dawson that was
Okay.
interested in coming
Okay.
down. I am working with him currently. So far it's a go, so I think he will be their entertainment.
And Deb kind of touched on it a moment ago. It's coming up first Saturday in August, so just around the corner. If people are watching this right now, is it too late to be a part of it?
No.
And how did, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
They can call me. My phone number is 608-377-2474. That is my cell phone. That is the only phone that I have, so I carry it on me constantly. You can leave a message. I do have 2 different emails that I check every day. One is Shawn, SHAWN, period, Zavinsky, Z as in zebra, A, B as in boy, I, N as in Nancy, SKI, @gmail.com. Or you can reach me at District 4 at Tomah Online.
Yeah, this room we're in, you've been here before, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
All right, people are probably wondering if I want to attend Michigan's on August 6th, is there a cost involved?
$25 per booth, and it doesn't matter if you want to sell flea market or just to have a regular booth. We're asking $25 for a vendor.
All right, what about a cost for the people that want to go?
There, nothing.
no cost.
It's free?
Yep.
Okay, so no charge to go, they can wander around, there's no cost involved.
Yep, and the Good Shepherd will be there. They will be making food this year.
Okay,
So there will be a luncheon served. And what was I gonna say? Also, I think they may be having a bake sale.
okay.
So they will probably have some baked goods there.
And what will your hours be for Michiganza?
We were asking that people come in and set up at 7.
At 6:30 in the morning, and then the doors will open up for the guests at 8 o'clock.
All right, bottom line, the reason for Michiganza is to help with, really to help with preservation projects, and Deb and I talked off the air, and we asked, I said, what would come to mind? With log cabins certainly down the road, which is, log cabins come a long way, obviously, but you're really trying to concentrate right now on buildings, is that where you're at right now?
Not only that, we have another project that the group has been approached by, and that is the Lee Mausoleum out in Oak Grove Cemetery. It's an older crypt.
Yes,
that
I've been there,
needs to be
yes.
repaired. So I believe that we will be taking on that project and be involved with half of that cost of getting that done with the group.
Deb and I talked off the air, we mentioned Sue Holm was a part of this, she recently passed away. Of course, Wayne Kling's name comes to mind, Wayne's passed away, but something like we're talking about, this would right down Wayne's alley, wouldn't it?
Very much so. Yep, and I miss him dearly,
Yeah.
you know, but Wayne was a driving force.
Update me on the log cabin, I haven't heard much about it, as a member of the Preservation Committee, is that where you want it to be? Where is that at right now?
Right now, I believe the electrical work is done.
Okay,
I believe that they're just now getting some fine tuning done within the cabin. It was supposed to be opened in August for a grand opening ceremony. And I have to check to see if that date, if we're still gonna have it on that date. or not.
And we should mention, within the last 2-3 months, you are a city council member. You presented the council, because I was here obviously, with a check for around $20,000.
Yes.
Was that part of the preservation committee?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
That was the money that we raised for the cabin, and all of that has been turned over to the cabin fund for Joe Pratt.
So we don't know where this money's going right now? The $20,000, do we have an idea in mind where we'd like to see that money go?
Well, it's in the cabin fund, so
Oh, it is in the
it'll-
cabin fund,
Yes, so
okay.
that will go for
Okay.
all of the updated costs, the construction work, materials, anything to do with the cabin of getting that finished, those funds will go towards that project.
That, you know, if you look at your background, and what we've been talking about, this is kind of something, this is right down your alley also, isn't it?
Yes, my father's, my maiden name is Souls, so
Yes.
there's a lot of souls in
Yep.
Toma. And my father, Howard, was very involved in
Sure.
caring about what happened with the city of Toma and everything, and he kind of got me interested in it, and it's something I can do without pulling my hair out too much, but I do enjoy, I've always enjoyed history, and my dad, I don't know how much of it is true or not true, but you know, he had some good stories about Toma that I try to pass on, and right now, I have a project I'm doing. I've got all my dad's writings from when he wrote them in the editorials in the paper and the Monroe County History Society, and I'm in the process of scanning them into a little disc for myself, and then on behalf of my brother and I, we're going to donate those to the History Museum. We're going to get them bound.
If I'm thinking right, isn't the current Toma Public Library on that list? Aren't they historical?
Yes.
Yes, that
Okay.
is.
Yeah, because I know, talking with Wayne, obviously who I can't anymore, but people, there's a lot of history in Toma that people really, it's kind of sad they don't have a clue, but there really is a lot of history, isn't there?
Yes.
Does that frustrate you that people don't know more about it?
A little bit, but I think that's why I'm here
Yeah, yeah.
and why my dad was here.
Sean, do we look to make this an annual event?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yep.
And why do you pick August 6th, early August? Why do you pick that time of year?
Well, quite frankly, it was about the only time I could get the buildings at the fairgrounds.
Okay.
And so, seeing that this date or this weekend had worked out, I'm going to try to keep it the same every year. Because then that way we're not interfering with the tractor pull, the fair, and it is before Crayon Fest, so it works out good.
Yeah. And before school starts?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we should mention when you and I and Deb get done here in a moment, visually, I'll show a board on there, pretty much a generic page. It'll tell us everything we talked about, when it is, where it is, what the time is. Your number's on there, Deb's number's on there if you need more info. As we wrap it up, ladies, is there anything else we should be talking about?
There's one more thing I want to share with you, Greg. With August 6th, and I will be down at the fairgrounds, I just want to share one thing for downtown for Crazy Days, that the Senior Center is going to have a lunch served that day. They have double cheeseburger, a cheeseburger, a hamburger, bratwurst hot dog. They have chips, cookies, bars, ice cream sundaes, and then they're also offering water, soda, and coffee. And this is something that downtown or people can come, they can come down, they can pick it up that morning. The foods should be ready to go at 9:30 in the morning till 1:30, and they accept cash and checks. And I have a little handout here. Hopefully.
Yep.
And I encourage everybody to come down if they can.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because That's also the same day as Crazy Days.
Yes, it
So
is.
there will be other stuff obviously going on around the city.
Correct.
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
And, you know, and it's a good fundraiser for the senior center too.
Deb Chester on your left, Sean Zavinsky on your right, talking about Michi Enza Day coming up on August 6th. And in a moment, we'll show you all the basic information you need to know. Ladies, thank you for making time, giving us an update on what's going on, and hopefully be very successful, and we'll be down to talk to you that day. Thank you for your time again.
Thank you very much, Greg. I appreciate it.
And of course, you're invited to come to Michiganza.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I planned on being there, absolutely. Thank you, ladies, again.
Thank you.
Thank you.